Good day, everyone. So today we will talk about another topic in EL 116, Technology in Teaching Language. But before that, let us have a quick review first on the English curriculum framework that we should always know as teachers of the language. It is composed of several components. So we have the guiding principles, making meaning through a language. We have assessment and the outcome. Okay, so the let's start with the first component, which is the theories of language teaching, language learning and acquisition, and theories about the language. So what is our guiding principle? The K to 12 language, art, and multiliteracy's curriculum is anchored on the following principles. First one is that all languages are interrelated and interdependent. Language acquisition and learning is an active process that begins at birth and continues throughout life. Third, learning requires meaning. Fourth, learners learn about language and how to use it effectively through their engagement with and study of the text. And fifth, successful language learning involves viewing, listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities. So that is our first component, theories of the language. Then our second component is making meaning through language. So language, as we all know, is a major instrument in communication, and the heart of which is the exchange of meaning. Language learning should focus on guiding students make meaning through language for different purposes on a range of topics and variety of audiences. The students must be able to adapt various situations where communication demands greatly vary. So that is making meaning through language, and we will be able to come up with a meaningful learning and acquisition of the language through the different major applications of macro skills of the language. Specifically, we have studying cultures, studying language, and processes and strategies. So they are described as the knowledge and skill areas which are essential to effective language use. Okay? Learners reflect on ethical considerations in the use of ideas and information. That's why this major applications of macro skills of the language are very important. Okay, and also under component number 2, which is making meaning through language. So for effective language acquisition and learning to take place, language teachers must be guided by the 6 language teaching principles. What are these? These principles explain the natural process of language development. Specifically, we have the spiral progression, integration, interaction, contextualization, and construction. Okay, and what is our main goal as English teachers? So that will be our outcome. And again, the ultimate goal of language, art, and multiliteracy's curriculum is to produce graduates who apply the language conventions, principles, strategies, and skills in interacting with each other, understanding and learning other content areas, and fending themselves with whatever field of endeavor they may engage in. Okay, so these are basically what we call communicative competence and multiliteracies. And how are we going to achieve this? By the use of our fourth component, which is assessment and feedback, or let's say through holistic assessment. So assessment is an important aspect of learning and teaching. It should be effectively used to support holistic development of our students. Our assessment practices should go beyond summative evaluations and move forward to a more holistic approach. So what is holistic assessment, by the way? It refers to the ongoing gathering of information on different facets of a child from various sources, with the aim of providing quality and quantitative feedback to support and guide students' development. So to achieve the main goal of our English language curriculum, so we must consider also the usage of technology, of course. And we should also try to assess ourselves as we try to plan, execute, and evaluate the usage of technology in our respective classes. And these frameworks will help us. So we have the technological, pedagogical, content knowledge, and technology integration learning. So let's start with technological pedagogical content knowledge. And it is called TPACK or TPACK in other references. So by the way, what is TPACK? So it is a framework that integrates technology in education to help encapsulate the complex interaction among content, pedagogy, and technology. So TechPack provides a picture of the entire process of technology integration that helps identify what is essential and what is not in any discussion of teacher using technology for teaching the subject matter. Okay, so again, technological, pedagogical, content, knowledge. So this model shows that technology, pedagogy, and content are the three main components of teachers' knowledge. Okay. So again, we have TK or technological knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge. So TechPack or TPAC attempts to identify the nature of knowledge required by teachers for technology integration in their teaching while addressing complex and different nature of teacher knowledge. Okay? And the heart of this framework is are obviously the following: content, pedagogy, and technology. And there are also other components of it. So we have technological pedagogical knowledge, technological content knowledge, and pedagogical content knowledge. So this time let us talk about the first domain of this framework, which is content knowledge. So what is content knowledge? So it refers to the teacher's knowledge about the subject matter. So it includes concepts, theories, ideas, organizational frameworks, evidences, and proofs, established practices, and approaches toward developing such knowledge. Next, let us also talk about the second domain of this framework, pedagogical knowledge. So pedagogical knowledge refers to the teacher's knowledge about the processes and practices or methods of teaching and learning. So this includes lesson planning, classroom management skills, understanding how students learn, and student assessment. So a teacher with profound pedagogical knowledge facilitates students' construction of knowledge and acquisition of skills and helps the student in developing habits of mind and positive dispositions toward learning. Therefore, understanding of cognitive, social, and developmental theories of learning and how they apply to students in the classroom are requisites of pedagogical knowledge. So you should know the hows of teaching, kumbaga. So if in content, it's about what. In pedagogical, it's about how are you going to teach those. So this time, let us talk about the combination of pedagogical knowledge and content knowledge. And that will be called pedagogical content knowledge. So, pedagogical content knowledge covers conditions that promote learning, teaching, learning, curriculum, assessment, reporting, and pedagogy. There is transformation of subject matter for teaching, which happens when a teacher interprets the subject matter. So it's about the knowledge of what and how to teach a particular uh, topic. This time, let us talk about the third domain of this framework, technological knowledge. So, technological knowledge applies to all technological tools and resources. And it also refers to the appreciation and mastery of information, technology for information processing, communication, and problem solving. Okay, so the definition of TK is fluid due to its fast updates and upgrades that happen from time to time. However, technology applies to all technological tools and resources, as I mentioned a while back. And understanding technology, which is beyond the definition of computer literacy, is amassed in technological knowledge. So that's why essential appreciation and mastery of information for information processing, communication, and problem solving are very important. Okay. Then what do you call the teacher's combination of technology and content knowledge? So that's then what we call the technological pedagogical knowledge. Okay. So using your knowledge of these two domains in teaching. Okay. So what is TPK? So it refers to the understanding of how teaching and learning can change when particular technologies are used in particular methods. So it also refers to how technology can influence differently the context and the intentions of teaching. Okay, so teachers have to look beyond the normal functions of technology. They have to be creative and think of other possible things that these technologies can do to achieve um, advancement in the learning and understanding of the students. Next, let us also talk about the knowledge of the teachers as they combine technology and knowledge about the subject matter, which is then called technological content knowledge, or TCK. Okay. So it refers to the understanding of the way in which technology and content affect and restrict one another. So this overlap explains that teaching is more than the subject matter they teach. They must also have a profound knowledge of the way how subject matter can be taught through the use of a particular technology. So teachers need to figure out which specific technologies are appropriate in delivering the subject matter to have a better understanding and appreciation of the lesson. So this allows us to determine the suitable pairing of appropriate technology to the content and vice versa. Okay, so again, that is technological content knowledge. And all in all, if we combine all of these um, components, so we'll have technological pedagogical content knowledge. So again, it shows the interaction among the main components. Okay, knowledge, content, pedagogy, and it is the basis of effective teaching with technology. Okay, so the relationship among these components of knowledge are interfaced with one another to have a strong content, okay, more effective pedagogy, and efficient technology that may remedy difficulties in teaching and learning to develop higher comprehension and better learning. Okay, so we have TCK also, PCK, and we also have TPK. Okay, so this time let us have a quick summary of TPACK as we watch this video.
You're a teacher ready to tap students into 21st century learning, but teaching with technology adds a whole new layer of knowledge and expertise. TPACK, or Technological, Pedagogical, Content Knowledge, is a framework that helps teachers consider how their knowledge domains intersect in order to effectively teach and engage students with technology. It's an approach that looks at the combination of what teachers know, how they teach, and the role of technology in order to better impact student learning. So, how does TPACK work? First, consider three domains: content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and technological knowledge. Content knowledge, CK, is the what, your understanding and expertise of the subject area you teach, whether it's science, social studies, math, language arts, or all of the core curricular areas. CK is made up of all the facts, concepts, and theories of any given discipline. Pedagogical knowledge, PK, is the how, your expert knowledge of the art and science of teaching. From learning theories to instructional design, PK includes methods of teaching and assessment, like project-based learning, as well as instructional strategies like Think, Pair, Share. Knowledge of these principles helps you design successful learning experiences for each individual student. Pedagogical content knowledge, or PCK, is the intersection of the pedagogical and content areas, the knowledge you have of how to effectively engage students in learning concepts and skills. This knowledge includes approaches for addressing different learning styles and scaffolding content for deeper understanding. Educational psychologist Lee Schulman saw this intersection as teaching at its best. But several scholars, including Matthew Kohler and Punya Mishra, have added an additional component to 21st century teaching: technological knowledge, or TK. TK represents your knowledge about the tools, including how to select, use, and integrate technology into your curriculum. But it's not just about the devices. It's also the quality of content that students access through apps, websites, and games for learning. By integrating technology into PCK, you now have new insights into and opportunities for student learning. Technological content knowledge, or TCK, refers to how technology is used in a subject area for deep and lasting learning. For instance, to further their understanding of a topic, budding scientists can use sophisticated tools to collect evidence, make observations, and document findings. Interactive software then allows them to see their data represented in various ways. Application of such technologies can help deepen individual students' inquiry within a given discipline. Technological pedagogical knowledge, or TPK, is your understanding of how to choose and manage technology for your students. For instance, what technology will best ease your students' workflow throughout their exploration of the scientific method? How can you use collaboration tools to have students share their learning with each other? This knowledge about technology will advance your teaching. The intersection of all three knowledge domains, content, pedagogy, and technology, is the core of TPACK. This center area refers to your understanding of how tools can enhance your teaching and support student learning more deeply and effectively. For example, when learning about water pollution, students could explore 3D models of bacteria's cellular structure, and then create their own animated images to analyze local water sources. They then could share their findings virtually with a prominent field expert. This dynamic interplay of all three components is TPACK, the heart of innovative teaching. You can use the TPACK framework to assess your own knowledge of content, pedagogy, and technology. Consider which areas you feel confident about and which areas you could improve upon. But also think about how you can collaborate with others at your school or in your professional learning communities to combine your strengths. For example, you could meet with your technology coordinator to brainstorm ways to redesign learning experiences. And knowing that each student, each teacher, and each classroom differs, the dotted line around the framework symbolizes the context that affects how TPACK is applied in a practical sense. TPACK takes into account that every classroom context is unique due to variations in professional development, school climate, and available resources. In conclusion, TPACK will help you remember to start with your content and pedagogy, and then layer in technology. Sometimes we get excited about a new technology, and then we design a lesson around that particular tool. But in doing so, it's easy to lose sight of goals and objectives for student learning. TPACK reminds us that technology is just part of great teaching. It's truly an intricate combination of content, pedagogy, and technology that make for innovative teaching and learning. So, what does your TPACK look like?
Okay, so that is once again tech pack or TPAC. So as mentioned here, we should know our content and different pedagogies first, or principles of teaching the language before, again, we consider the technology that we're going to use in the future, because we don't want the content and the principles to adjust with the technology that we are thinking of. Ayaw nating ang focus natin is more on the technology rather than the content and pedagogy. But of course, we'll have to consider this three domains of this TPAC model. Okay.